for Wales at 12 o'clock. This is Caitlin Parr. Good afternoon. The water regulator Ofwat has provisionally approved an increase in household bills for customers in Wales and England. In Wales, it means Welsh water customers could see their annual bills go up by £137 over the next 5 years, while those in Hafren Dyfrdwy could see a £128 increase. A final decision will be made by December. Ben Price has the details.
Most people in Wales and England get their water from one of 17 companies and have it taken away by one of 11 companies. Households can't choose their supplier, it's down to where you live. Welsh Water is the only supplier in Wales apart from Hafren Dyfrdwy, which is much smaller. From next year, Welsh Water customers could be charged £27 more each year. That's £137 over the next 5 years. Ofwat says the proposed hike is a reflection of how much companies need to invest to clean up seas and rivers and to upgrade leaky pipes.
The new Security Minister Dan Jarvis says the UK government is looking at whether there needs to be tighter controls of weapons such as crossbows after a triple murder in Bushey in Hertfordshire on Tuesday. Carol Hunt, who was 61, and two of her daughters, Hannah and Louise, died in the attack at their home. The main suspect, Kyle Clifford, remains in hospital after being found with injuries yesterday. Laura Sugden, who survived a crossbow attack which killed her partner in 2018, says the weapons need to be classified in the same way as guns.
3 people lost their lives, and if that's not, enough to, sort of now stop and think these are dangerous weapons, unbelievably lethal. We need to be looking to do something, to just put some legislation in, bring them in line with firearms and, just try and prevent future deaths.
One of the rides at Oakwood Theme Park in Pembrokeshire remains closed today and is being investigated after several people were injured. The park says the bounce ride experienced an emergency stop procedure while it was in mid-fall yesterday. Official figures show the UK economy grew by 0.4% in May, double the rise expected by most economists. The Office for National Statistics says the services, manufacturing and construction industries all saw increases. And King Charles and Queen Camilla are visiting the Senedd in Cardiff Bay to mark its 25th anniversary. They're meeting party leaders this lunchtime before the King delivers a speech later on. Sport now, and in rugby, Cameron Winnett and James Botham will replace injured Josh Hathaway and Aaron Wainwright in the Wales team for Saturday's second test against Australia in Melbourne. Wainwright was Wales's man of the match last weekend, so his absence is a big blow for head coach Warren Gatland.
Disappointing for him, considering I think he was outstanding last week. The last couple of games, there has been a real step up in terms of his performances. So that's disappointing for him, disappointing for us. And Josh Hathaway's just took a knock on the elbow and just done a tendon, so he's been ruled out as well.
And England football fans hoping to make it to Germany for Sunday's Euros final against Spain are facing soaring travel and accommodation costs. Many flights are sold out, and airlines that do have seats left are charging 5 times more to travel this week than next. Hotel prices in Berlin, where the match is being held, have also rocketed, with some rooms costing more than £600 for one night. That's the BBC News for Wales, coming up to 4 minutes past 12.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Good afternoon, I'm Jules Buckley. The southbound side of the Wrexham bypass the A483, slow going down towards the A5 at the Halton roundabout. If you're then heading further south on the A5 down towards South Gabowen by the hospital roundabouts, queuing, there's been a collision. Back home, A55 Britannia Bridge will quite slow either side of it. On the live traffic Wales cameras, and the A477 still slow in the roadworks in Pembrokeshire, either side of the Nash Fingerpost junction. And I'll be back with more at 12:30.
BBC Radio Wales weather.
Hello again, I'm Sabrina Lee. Most places cloudy through this afternoon with patchy rain and drizzle heaviest in parts of the north. The best of the dry and bright conditions will be found the further southeast you are. Today's highs then at 15 Celsius in Caernarfon, 17 in Brecon. Away from the coast and hills, not too much of a breeze. That wind direction somewhere between the north and west. Tonight and tomorrow, mostly cloudy with further patchy rain and drizzle, again some on the heavy side. And then this weekend, still some showers around and staying on the cool side, but still some drier and brighter spells mixed in. That's your very latest.
Thanks all. Good afternoon. Welcome to the phone-in. I'm Oliver Hydes, and coming up, Keir Starmer said he plans to bring in a retirement age of 80 for the House of Lords. He said it will help to reduce the size of the upper house. So, is it time to change? Is it time for change at the Lords? 60% of Gen Zers say that table manners are irrelevant. But are they still important? And what app must I have on my phone?
BBC Radio Wales.
Lunchtime, as I sit here now, I'm watching the King addressing the Senedd to mark its 25th anniversary. We'll bring you news of what's going on there as we discuss another political institution, one that is often in the news. We're going to talk about the Lords, first of all, the House of Lords. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, is in the United States, of course, at the moment for the NATO summit. But while on his travels, he's had to deny that his decision to bring in a retirement age of 80 for the House of Lords means he believes that Joe Biden should stand down as US president. At the moment, there's no age requirement for Lords to stand down. It's a job for life, if you keep going, that is. Although many of us have learned today, due to legislation that was brought in 10 years ago, if Lords, if you don't attend for a session for a year, then you lose your right to sit. But still, there are currently 774 sitting members with an average age of 71. So what do you make of that? Should we be looking to cap the age of the unelected lawmakers in the House of Lords? Does wisdom simply come with age? And while we're at it, what about having an unelected upper house? Is there a better way to do it? 03700 100 110. Baroness Carmen Smith is 28 years old, and so the youngest peer in the House of Lords. Hello there, good afternoon.
Hi, hello Oliver.
Hi there. I'm interested to know how you found it when you first walked in, having heard so much and seen so much, I'm sure, as we all do, about all the septuagenarians in the House of Lords. Was the age profile as high as you thought it was going to be?
I knew the stats going in, but if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really realise how true it was until I was sat in the chamber. And I looked around me, and also just the not very many women peers as well. So just, I guess I didn't really know it was real until it's in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of old people, but a lot of experienced people in that case, and a lot of brilliant people as well, aren't there?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think with, like you've just noted as well, with looking at like the age cap proposal, I just don't think that just because someone is 80, it doesn't mean that they have nothing to contribute. They will have decades of experience and expertise. But I think that what's important to highlight is that, you know, theirs isn't the only experience or expertise that's worth listening to. And it is a house that is predominantly from a certain age demographic at the moment.
I mean, so I've mentioned that Lord Prescott's been removed from the Lords today because he hasn't attended over the course of the last year. Lord Archer as well. There were a few others. That would seem to go some way towards what you and Sir Keir Starmer are proposing, wouldn't it?
Well, I think actually with the age cap, to be honest, is a bit of a cop-out. As I don't think that, Keir Starmer noted in one of his interviews yesterday, that, in my opinion, wouldn't really reduce the size of the House in, the more of the medium term as well, especially when Labour are very likely to be putting a number of new members in the House over the next few months. And actually, what I think would be a better change is looking at term limits. As a first step instead.
So what you do? What, 5 years, 10 years?
I think that would have to be worked out. However, I think when you're putting in an age cap, but then actually bringing in a lot of new people, that doesn't really solve anything in the next few years, for example.
Is there an issue with the appointments process as well? Not the process, but simply those who are chosen. You've raised a couple of eyebrows when you were nominated to the Lords. You're 28. There have been others too in recent lists as well in their 30s and 40s, which is always news. That shouldn't be news, I guess. If there were more younger people being nominated for the Lords, is there something in that?
I think as you pointed out there is some issues with the appointments process, and actually just the whole kind of governance surrounding the Lords. So just going back to, for example, if we had term limits, that would remove the whole, having a job for life element, which I think having a job for life is just so, out of touch, really. And I think most people would see that as very unfair. And also having, removing that job for life element, you'd bring in new ideas on a regular basis, so younger voices, but also just voices from different experiences as well. Yeah,
your party, Plaid Cymru, though, I think there's a better way of doing things, or at least this isn't the best way of doing things. Have you changed your views about the abolition of the House of Lords since sitting there, or is that still very much your view?
It's still my view, and I'm there to continue having those discussions with people in the members of the public, but also people across party to encourage, more ambitious reforms of the chamber, and to actually, make actual moves on that front, and not just to leave it in the background.
To what, an elected upper chamber?
I think we need to, like, in terms of exactly what it looks like. I think there's lots of options, but certainly I do not believe that there should be an elected chamber anywhere in the world. And I think it is important that we have that accountability with people that, make the laws on our behalf. And, having an elected process as well would mean that we have more of a good representation of the population too. Because, at the moment, it's a chamber where it is 70% men, and the average age is 71. And that isn't, representative of people across the UK, and definitely not across Wales.
Lovely to talk to you. I can't think of a better person to have started this conversation, so I thank you for that. Baroness Carmen Smith, at 28 years old, the youngest peer in the House of Lords. 03700 100 110. What do you make of what you heard there? You can text 8 10 12. This is new.
I think about winter when I was with her and the snow was falling down. Warm by the fire, I love being by her when there's no one else around. And I'm falling, oh I'm my name in the sand. We walk together, hoping forever. Please don't let go of my hand, 'cause I'm falling, oh I'm falling, oh I'm falling. In between times you're here and then you're gone away. Oh, I just wanted to say, won't you please, please stay? 'Cause I'm falling, oh I'm falling, I'm falling.
Midday here on the phone in on BBC Radio Wales. So what about the House of Lords then? We heard Baroness Carmen Smith there saying that she does not support a wholly unelected House of Lords. Are you with her on that? Certainly, Ron in Winterbourne, hi there, Ron, says this. I think we've got an overstaffed House of Commons doing the job, so why do we need them? Also, they're not appointed by the people, have no idea what work they do. So as far as I'm concerned, they could abolish the House of Lords tomorrow. And Tony in Stockport says this: America has a population of 366 million, yet they only have 100 senators in their upper house. Yet disproportionately, the UK has nearly 1,000 Lords and 650 MPs. So, is it time to look at the House of Lords? Alex Walker is a researcher from UK and a Changing Europe, works on constitutional issues. Hi, Alex.
Hiya.
Hi there. I don't know how much you heard of Baroness Carmen Smith, but she is certainly of the view and remains of the view, even since sitting in the Lords, that there is a better, more democratic way of doing things. There's certainly plenty of people that think that way. Are we ever going to move in that way? Because this is a conversation that seems to come around very often.
Yes, that's right. It's certainly not the first time that reforms to the House of Lords have been proposed. And we had sort of the removal of the majority of hereditary peers in 1999. We've had commissions since then, even a House of Lords reform bill in 2012, which didn't go through in the end. So I think that kind of indicates that wholesale reform of the House of Lords can take up quite a lot of time for a government. And so I suppose it's for Labour to decide whether they want to spend that bandwidth and that time on this, whether they'll have other priorities. But they've certainly put forward a kind of potentially an incremental approach to reform in their manifesto. I don't know if you want me to say a bit more about that, but
What is their current thinking?
So their current thinking is to get rid of the remaining hereditary peers entirely. They've also proposed a retirement age of 80 to reduce the size of the Lords. Some reforms to the appointments process to beef that up a little bit. And then a proposal for a consultation on replacing the Lords entirely with a more representative body. But they were going to seek public input on that. So it's a slight kind of movement away from their earlier position, which was to get rid of it entirely and replace it with an elected second chamber.
Because that's where some of the issues arise, isn't it? That when you start talking about a wholly elected chamber, what you probably end up with, what you do end up with, are more politicians, because it's political parties that give you the backing, the funding, the machinery to fight an election in the first place. There are very, very good people in the Lords through the nomination process who I dare say, and I don't know this for a fact, but you think about people like Tanni Grey-Thompson and Elora Finlay, and there's people with particular expertise that maybe wouldn't be drawn to it if it was more of a political role. So you have to, the last thing people want, I know that much from doing this job, is more politicians.
Well, it certainly is the case that one of the arguments in favour of the Lords at the moment is that it's slightly less partisan nature. You've got a bit more of a mixture in political terms, especially with 178 crossbench peers who are not affiliated with either party. So proponents argue that allows for a bit more space for a kind of reflective debate on legislation, where a variety of expertise can be applied to laws, and there's a bit less cut and thrust that you see in the Commons. But then again, as I'm sure you've discussed earlier, there is the question of those who are scrutinising the laws lacking a democratic mandate to do so. And the Lords is quite large. So there are arguments for slimming it down, certainly.
There's no perfect answer, is there? But would you agree with Baroness Carmen Smith that even if there's no perfect answer, that there are answers that are closer to perfect than the one we have at the moment?
Yeah, I think there are definitely ways in which the current arrangements can be improved. I think, as ever, there's a lot of debate, as I'm sure this discussion has illuminated, as to what the specifics should look like. And I think that's something that Labour perhaps become a bit more aware of, and is why they've proposed a consultation and to sort of seek views on this rather than try and impose a particular model. So I think that's probably quite sensible.
Yeah, but expensive and time-consuming, and will probably bring us back here in 5 years, won't it, Alex, having the same conversation? Is anyone actually going to grasp the nettle on this?
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, as I say, people have tried before, and there have certainly been small reforms before, but more wholesale, overarching reform has been elusive. So if that's anything to go by, then perhaps we'll still be discussing some of these issues in 5 years, yes. But I think incremental reforms are probably quite likely in the meantime.
OK, well, thank you very much. That's Alex Walker from UK in a Changing Europe. Let's go to the lines. Let's go to John. Hi there, John. John in Cumbraen.
Hello, Oliver.
What's your view on this? I think, what do you say, shut it down?
I think they should retire at 65. They should stop the inheritance of it. And if they wasn't paying them 400 quid a day, you wouldn't have so many people in there.
But aren't there people who've still got a lot to offer at 65? Some would say that's when some people are coming into their peak.
Why let them work? 65 is the retirement age or used to be. So why shouldn't they be made to retire at 65?
Well, I go back to the example of Baroness Laura Finlay, who's the expert in palliative medicine who sits in the Lords. Sure, she won't mind me saying. She's 75. She'd have been gone 10 years ago in the Lords if it was up to you.
Lucky, she's 75. She's still going to retire.
Thank you, John. Let's go to Nick in Pontcanna. Oh, Nick's just dropped off in Cardiff. OK, we'll go to Nick. We'll go to Nick after the traffic and travel. That's on the way after Gloria Gaynor. 03700 100. Exactly 12:30.
BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Hi again to you, I'm Jules Buckley. Just looking at the traffic Wales cameras in South Wales. The M4 quite heavy going away from junction 40 at Port Talbot as you make your way on and over the Britain Ferry Bridge towards junction 43 at Llandarcy. Queuing 2 for the A55 this lunchtime. It's slow going either side of the Britannia Bridge. A483 away from Wrexham, still quite busy down towards the A5, down towards the Halton roundabout. If you're heading then over the border down the A5, heading towards Gobowen by the hospital roundabout, that's still queuing and part blocked on the southbound side. It's due to an accident. I'll be back with more for you after the news at 1.
BBC Radio Wales.
You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, hey, girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. The time for hesitation's through. There's no time to wallow in the mire. Darling, we could only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
On the way for you here on the phone in until 2. We're also going to talk about table manners very soon on the programme. Are they still important in this day and age? Are there not more important things to worry about? And also some great suggestions coming in already for the apps that I really need to get on my phone. I've got such boring selection of apps. Need to liven things up. Some good suggestions coming in already, so get those in as well to 8 10 12. I'm sure my phone can do so much more than I'm giving it the opportunity to do at the moment. So 8 10 12 to text, 03700 100 110 to call or WhatsApp. And to get some of your thoughts about the House of Lords as well. We heard Baroness Carmen Smith, the youngest member of the Lords, with us on the programme earlier, arguing for, well, time limits in terms of how long people serve for. Whether she didn't say how long she thought it should be, whether it be 5 years, 10 years. You serve a term in the Lords, maybe. She's certainly arguing for more churn, more younger people, greater turnover of people in the Lords, whilst her and her party's, Plaid Cymru's long-term aim is to replace it entirely with a wholly elected upper chamber. So is that something that you'd like to see? Gareth has called, says, I don't think peers should be forced out of the House of Lords. And talking about the age of politicians, Gareth goes on to say with Joe Biden, it's more alarming because he's actually running the country. It could be viewed as ageist if you make the Lords stand down at 80, as Labour are proposing. Kevin's called from Thatcham. Get rid of the House of Lords immediately. We shouldn't be called to pay for someone to do nothing. We throw money away here in Great Britain. As the NHS is broken, we should spend money on saving that service. And from Tony in Barry, I think we should get rid of the House of Lords. You can't trust them. Neil Kinnock said years ago, as part of his reform, that he'd abolish the House of Lords, but obviously it didn't work. I don't think we'd miss it if it went. It's money right now that we're spending that we don't have. Have to have an upper chamber, though, don't you? Somebody's making the point. I think it was Nick. I was trying to talk to Nick, who'd called in, who was making the point about the work that the House of Lords does. It scrutinises legislation that's going through the House of Commons. If something then goes before them they don't think is in the right direction or could be improved, they'll bounce it back to the Commons. He was talking about what was going on during the legislation about flights to Rwanda. It says that it's a temperature gauge for the government, said Nick. They stopped the Rwanda thing because they kept throwing it back to the Commons. So if that's a temperature gauge on what they think, that's something that is needed. So 03700 100 110, the number to call on this. You can text 8 10 12. Haven't heard this one for a while. This is Donna Lewis. I love you, always, forever.
Feels like I'm standing on the timeless tree of light mists, of pale ambrose. Feels like I'm lost in the deep cloud of heavenly scent. Touching, discover.
Donna Lewis at 19 minutes to 1 here on BBC Radio Wales. We're going to talk about Gen Zers. Just before we get on to this story, we're going to talk about table manners. I just asked the team, what is a Gen Zer? Exactly. I know that Gen Z are people who are right now in, I think it's early 20s, early mid-20s. I think we're fumbling for a precise definition. But I think we're talking about people born sort of late 90s, early 2000s, not yet 30. So people who think they're in the prime of their life, but are yet to find out that the best stuff comes later. We're talking about table manners. We're talking about table manners because the Italian restaurant chain Prezzo's found that 60% of Gen Z say that table manners are irrelevant and outdated. A third say they regularly use their phone at the table. Over half don't know the right way to hold a knife and fork. So does this sound like a familiar story in your home? And are they right? Are table manners still important? Because I think we live in a far more less, well, we do, don't we? It's a far more less formal society that we live in now. Gone are the days of men wearing suit and tie and a bowler hat every day. So I think we talked about that on the programme before. Things are far more informal these days. So why then get hung up on the formality of table manners? 03700 100 110. I had an interesting conversation in the office earlier with Michaela Chiappa, who's here this week. She'll be here later this afternoon for Benas, of course, from a big Italian family who do things slightly differently. Certainly, well, clearly from speaking to her, and she was speaking about how her father was very firm about the family sitting together to eat a meal, no screens at the table, the correct use of cutlery, the family gathering. And is that something that still is that something that should happen more? Does it still happen in your house? I wonder how you're getting on teaching your children, your teens, your grandchildren even, about how you would like them to behave at the dinner table. But more importantly than anything, why does it still matter? 03700 100 110 to call or WhatsApp. Text 8 10 12. We'll speak to an expert in this kind of thing very shortly. 03700 100 110. 8 10 12 to text, as I say. We'll talk to an expert after the Doobie Brothers. Doobie Brothers. Just always sound like they're having such fun doing that. That's Long Train Running. It's 13 minutes to 1 o'clock. And as I have an etiquette expert on the line, just to make the point, it is actually called Long Train Running. It's not Long Train Running. So, Laura Acano, that's for you, etiquette expert, founder of Polished Manners, just in case. How are you, Laura?
I'm very well, thank you, and you?
There we are, good. I'm on best behaviour, you see. I think just aware that I'm being watched and listened to. We're talking about table manners as we've got 60% of those in their, let's say, in their early 20s, say that table manners are not important anymore. Are they still important? We live in so much more of an informal society now. Why not be informal at the table, Laura?
It's fine to be informal, but there are still expectations in terms of how you behave, and really trying to make it a pleasant dining experience for your fellow diners, people around you, because nobody wants to see a messy eater or somebody chewing or speaking with food in their mouth. So there are still certain aspects of table manners that are quite important, even though we mostly dine casually.
So, gone are the days where you'd have, 5 sets of cutlery on the table and have to navigate your way through them and passing things to the left and all the rest of it.
That would have to be a very, very formal dining environment.
So, yes.
Banquets or something.
Yeah, so the point being that sort of some formality then has naturally been eroded. But what's the bare minimum for you? What do you see as the erosion of good table manners now that we really should do our best to hang on to?
Well, one of my first things would be, when you are eating, whether on your own or even with other people, please finish chewing before you start talking. It happens. A lot of people still do that. You've got food in your mouth, you're chewing, and you're trying at the same time to have a conversation. That's certainly something that I feel is still very, very relevant. Pay attention to the people that you're eating with, which means mobile phones should be away. I agree, sometimes you're in a really nice environment, you want to take a picture of your food, do that before you start eating, but then please put the phone away and enjoy the company of the people that you're with.
Is there a correct way to use your knife and fork, do you think, or does anything go these days, Laura?
Most definitely, and I would say majority of people actually do not hold their knife and fork correctly. It's not the end of the world, but it's something that I've observed a lot. So, but for me, even if you don't know how to hold your cutlery properly, but please be sociable and be considerate and think of people that you're dining with, just to make it a great experience for everybody and enjoy each other's company. So,
the correct way is the fork always in the left hand? Knife in the right hand?
That depends on if you're left-handed or right-handed, so you could switch. But for most people, if they're right-handed, of course, the knife is in the right hand and the fork is in the left hand. But the idea is to actually make sure that you're not holding it like a pen, holding the knife like a pen. And the tines of the fork tends to be facing down. I've seen people who would then turn on, when they've got on the fork, but the tines are facing up. The knife sometimes is held incorrectly as well. Some people tend to hold it like a pen, which is not the correct way. It actually should be, base of the knife should be within your palm with your index finger aligned on the side of the knife. So, yes, so there's some little things there that I see, but majority of people that I've observed tend not to hold their knife and fork correctly. And
the detail of this, to me, is probably less interesting, or it's not interesting, or less important than why it matters, and why small things like this are an indicator of things that have greater importance. It's why a handshake and eye contact and small things like that as well matter. Why is it, Laura? What do small things say about us?
Well, it's just something within the tradition, within the culture that most of us have grown up with. Most people will get through life without maybe knowing a lot of these things. But then depending on your ambition or the circles you move in, then perhaps those little things that we're talking about would really matter. For instance, I know for sure that there are certain employers now, particularly in America, where you've got two candidates left. You're not sure who to decide who to give the job to. They take them for lunch or business lunch or something, and they will. Now, in situations like that, not knowing perhaps how to hold a stemmed glass, not knowing how to use your napkin, or not knowing even how to use your cutlery correctly, that may be what might cost you a position.
Isn't that interesting, Laura? Because we lost you momentarily there, but I think what you were saying was that they'll take possible potential employees out and watch them over lunch. And because I think that maybe answers the question, which is that what your table manners, your etiquette, your behaviour says about you, says a lot about how you regard others, doesn't it? And how and it speaks a lot about respect.
It does. It's all about respect, and it's also about how you present yourself, because we talk about first impressions a lot, and those are the little things that people can pick up, and it comes across in your behavior. I tend to use the word decorum, which lots of people probably don't use nowadays, but that's just how you behave, how you speak, how you do things, and people tend to notice, because it's not normal, because a lot of people don't do it. And those are the little things sometimes that makes an individual stand out.
Laura, thank you very much. That's Laura O'Connor, etiquette expert, founder of Polished Manners, 03700.
In world news today, officials decree that rapper Brad Jordan, alias Scarface, must be stopped. After being monitored by Secret Service agents for 2 years, evidence leads tobacco and firearms officials to believe that his literally dope lyrics promote drug usage and distribution, degrade women, influence gambling, promote and teach violence, and more importantly, it's influencing our minors and destroying our communities. Officials say he's the lord of underground rap. Him and his music must be stopped.
And now we got him on the mission. Now the whole entire world has got to try to come up with a quick decision. They claim we threats to society, and now they're calling on the government to try to make somebody quiet for the nonsense they done to me. Gangsta Nip, Spice 1 and 2 Pac never gave a gun to me, so gangsta rap ain't done jack for that. I've even seen white folks from River Oaks go get the gap. So why you trying to kick some dust up? America's always been known for blaming us brothers for they mess ups, and we were always considered evil. Now they're trying to bust our only code of communicating with the people. Let's peep the game from a different angle. Matt Dillon pull his pistol every time him and someone tangle. So why you criticize me for the things that you see on your TV? That race versus PG. Just come around to where they got me, so you can feel the hand of the dead body.
You know you can't believe that song, that brother's wrong. Gangsters don't live that long. You know you can't believe that song, that brother's wrong. Gangsters don't live that long.
So now they're trying separation and sending black folks in white coats to infiltrate our congregation, tapping into our conversation, saying the message that they get bring forth wrong premeditations. So David's got a silver man, while listening to Brad, David gets mad and kills his dad. David Duke's got a shotgun, so why you get upset? Cause I got one. A tasket. A brother got his ass kicked, shot in the face by a cop, close cast. An open and shut situation. Cop gets got, they wanna blame it on my occupation. If you don't dig me, then baby you can sue me, cause the things that I be saying ain't worse than your Western movies. Don't blame me, blame your man Gotti. Now you can feel the hand of the dead body.
You know you can't believe that song, that brother's wrong. Gangsters don't live that long. You know you can't believe that song, that brother's wrong. Gangsters don't live that long.
You best to free your mind before I free my nine and stop messing with the void of pop. I feel my hot rocks. Bang, bang, boom, boom, ping, ping. I'm the black. White boys got a magazine and don't know how to act. I attack and make you vomit. Down with Khaled Abdul Muhammad. Dewey got a brother, I'm it now. I'm the illest. Wanna kill this house, Dark Cornelius. Can you feel this? You punk suckers make me sick. Sucking on the devil's trick, scared of revolution. Need to start douching. Houston is the place. I caught a case. Them fools tried to put a scar on my face, but I bust 2 times to the guts. Do the Reverend Calvin Butts. Got a pair of I started this gangster hit in 86. Now you're dissing me for publicity. Isn't he a hoe to the 3rd degree? Who me? I'm a G that like to scrap a lot. Down with rap a lot, and I can't stop, won't stop. So tell Bill and Hillary, Ice Cube, it ain't no killing me. Yeah, Ice Cube, Scarface, getting with these house suckers and it don't stop.
You know you can't believe that soul, that brothers roll. Gangsters don't live that long. You know you can't believe that soul, that brothers roll. Gangsters don't live that long.
The news is next after Tom Walker.
Here we go, baby. It's time to get down. Sexy love. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give it to me now, baby. Yeah. Come on, sexy mama. Come on, be back and let me see. Yeah. Take it easy, baby. Let me do what I want to do to you. I wanna open up the love gates to my heaven. This afternoon, I know you like me. Like tonight, you're gonna love me. I think in just a moment there's gonna be a love explosion. Go ahead and let your Jones get good and funky. Come on, sexy mama, you're just the way I want you to be. Take it easy, baby. Go ahead and lay that thing on me. I better pinch myself and make sure that I'm not dreaming. 'Cause the way you make me feel, I feel like screaming. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Do it to me now, baby. Come on, sexy man. Come on, be back and let me see you. Take the time, baby. Let me do what I want to do. I wanna open up them love gates to my heaven. This afternoon, I know you like to eat, but tonight you're gonna love me. I think in just a minute it's gonna be a love explosion. Go ahead and let your Jones get good and funky. Come on, sexy mama, just the way I want you to be. Take your time, now, baby. Go ahead and lay that thing on me. I better catch myself and make sure that I'm not dreaming. 'Cause the way you make me feel, I feel like, wow, get down.
BBC News for Wales at 1 o'clock. This is Caitlin Park. Good afternoon. The water regulator Ofwat has provisionally approved an increase in household bills for customers in Wales and England. In Wales, it means Welsh water customers could see their annual bills go up by £137 over the next 5 years, while those in Hafren Dyfrdwy could see a £128 increase in 5 years' time. Martin Lewis, the founder of the website Money Saving Expert, says water bills could add significantly to a household's costs.
They can be much bigger than people think. You know, there are some people who are in four-figure bills when it comes to the water bill that's coming into their house, and it does